Welcome to Dark Docent. My name is Jake. Join me as I take my friend James down the paranormal rabbit hole, attempting to prove the authenticity of a new case each week. Today's case, Momo, the Missouri Monster. But yeah. All right, James. Have you had any time to think about our last episode we did?
Well, what do you mean? Think about it.
I don't know. Are you still stuck on the 2.85 on the curse of James Dean's car?
You know, I did think a little bit more about it actually.
And now it's even less.
2.84, arguably.
I shouldn't have asked. I think you just want to make me mad.
What is this, Curse of the Mummy? Yeah, right. Give me a break.
What if the curse's name was Alec?
Then I don't know if that would be a curse. I'd say that would be maybe a murder case.
So that's 5 out of 5.
Sorry, murder mystery. And all alleged.
Okay, we'll take it.
Alleged by me.
All right, that's fine. Well, we're saying no to curses.
Well, at least for now.
Now.
The future, we don't know what the future holds. Maybe you'll present one that is super convincing.
I'll get you there.
Doesn't involve Alec.
I'll get you there. I think I'm pulling you in. I got a good one for you today, though.
Ooh, what is it?
I'll tell you. July 11th, 1972, Louisiana, Missouri. Doris Harrison is cleaning up her house, mopping the counters, kitchen table.
Mopping the counters?
Ah, fuck. What do you do on 10 counters?
No, I use my mop. You're right.
Doris Harrison is inside her house. She's about 15 years old. Her little brother and his friend, Terry and Wally, are playing in the backyard. All of a sudden, she hears screaming in the backyard. And all she sees is the kids running towards the back door. They burst through the back door, looking at her, telling her there's something big in the backyard. She plays it off as these kids are just screwing around with her. They're just like, okay, big imagination.
That's what kids do.
Yeah, they've been playing in the backyard all day. Who knows what they're doing? Well, that's until she goes out to clean the bathroom and looks out the windowsill. And she sees a 7-foot-tall creature in the tree line in her backyard. The creature is massive, scraggly hair, pumpkin-sized head, and claws on its toes, holding a dog under its right arm. She claimed that it had glowing orange eyes behind the hair, and the hair almost mopped over. The creature looked at her and stomped away. She freaked out and called her father, saying that there was something in her backyard. We don't know what it was, and it was scaring the kids. Half an hour later, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, her dad arrives home. Her boyfriend, Richard, shows up as well, and he said that she looked terrified. Didn't know what to make of this. Apparently she was shaking. There was something out there they didn't know what to do. The father, Edgar, and her boyfriend, Richard, began to investigate the area, looking through the different knocked down branches and leaves. They said they found faint footprints in the dirt below them. The footprints apparently measured a little over 10 inches long, and black hairs hanging from all the bushes.
Black hairs?
Black hairs.
You know what rhymes with black hairs?
No.
Black bears.
Oh, there you go. But do black bears carry dogs under their arm like that?
Carry under their arms?
Apparently this thing was carrying a dog dead under its arm like this. Like almost hooked, like almost holding like a handbag. And this isn't the first dog to die from this creature. James, have you heard...
Wait, can I take a guess?
Sure.
Sasquatch.
No.
Oh.
Have you heard of Momo, the Missouri Monster?
Momo, the Missouri Monster.
Yes.
I don't believe I have. I think I have heard of a creepypasta called Momo,
Yes.
but not the Missouri Monster. No.
Okay, this is Momo before modern day Momo. Modern day Momo is a creepypasta and an art piece done by a Japanese artist that they took and called Momo.
Incredible.
But before that, they had the Missouri Monster. So you mentioned Sasquatch.
Mhm.
This is like an offshoot of Sasquatch, but the difference is this creature was more shaggy. Its head was bigger than a Sasquatch, and it appeared that its neck just didn't have it didn't attach at the front. There was also no clear image of like a face. It was just like a ball of hair on top of a big body. Pictured like Cousin It if he got ripped.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what we picture as Momo. Anything you're thinking about right now? I know you mentioned bear a few times.
I did mention bear, and I'm thinking about bear. Bears, they're big. They have pumpkin heads.
Mhm.
They lay down in the bush. They're black. They
Yes.
leave hair behind.
Yes.
And you know what? After a quick Google search, there are bears in Missouri.
Yes, there are. These are all facts. Yes. Let me tell you more about Louisiana, Missouri.
Please do.
It's a really small, rural town, a population of about 3,000 people. It's like the boons is all around them. There's like the town, and then there's like just woods all around. You know, people would know used to wildlife and stuff around this area. It's not a big deal. If they saw a bear, they would probably know it's a bear. They also said that this creature had a foul odor about it. Apparently, it made their dog sick for hours, red eyes, and it was puking underneath the deck. We also mentioned that this creature had a dog under its arm. In the coming days, more people would come around looking and saying that their dogs have gone missing, and their cats have gone missing, and no one knows where they went off to. It was like a spur of just missing pets. Also, a neighbor of the Harrisons, Mrs. Clarence Lee, reported hearing strange animal sounds nearby a little before the encounter had happened. And she also stated that she talked to a local farmer who lived nearby, saying that he had lost his dog that day. Possibly, it could have correlated. For the next 3 days, people are talking about the creature. Word's gone throughout town. On July 14th, Edgar Harrison, the father of Doris, decided to hold a prayer meeting. Play a guitar, sing some songs, maybe get the people, because people are kind of scared at the moment, right?
That's what I would do.
You'd play a guitar and pray?
If my daughter saw a bear in the woods, absolutely.
This is the South America. This is a very, religious part of the United States.
A little more than British Columbia, perhaps?
Yeah, a little more than British Columbia.
Not that we live in British Columbia.
You mean British Columbia?
Yeah, British Columbia in Blandada.
That's it.
Please don't tariff me.
During a prayer meeting at the Harrison home, Edgar heard rocks clanging against the water reservoir on Marzal Hill. It stopped everyone in the tracks. They looked up from the camp, seeing what this creature could have been. All of a sudden, a loud, animal-like growl was heard, growing louder from Marzal Hill. The incident attracted a crowd of armed townspeople who went to venture into the woods, but no evidence was recovered, although foul odors and strange sounds that matched these growls were reported. What are you thinking right now? This is like more riled up than people should be if it's just a bear.
Yeah, well, the odor seems to be playing a big part in this.
Mhm.
Lots of people missing their dogs and cats.
Mhm.
I don't really know what I'm thinking at the moment. I don't think bears are known for just snatching pets by the boatload.
No, they would. When I was
Especially a cat. I've seen cats chase bears, but that's about it. They're kind of cowardly, the black bear.
yeah, well, they're smart, right? And they're omnivores, so they could hunt if they wanted to, but normally if they could eat something that isn't running or exerting energy, then they would.
Opportunistic.
Yeah, they'd usually rather do that. Where I lived growing up, we got bears all the time, and usually there was no real big issue with them. It's like, oh, cool, that's a bear, but that's about it.
Put the lid on the garbage can.
Yeah, that's it. The bears would still tip them over and try to bite into them, but otherwise, it wasn't a big deal. Cougars were more of a big deal. If someone saw a cougar, then it would be like, okay, we got to call people and stuff. Bears, we just kind of let them be.
Yeah.
Because they don't usually bother no one, as long as there's no cubs around. So a few days go by, and a man named Richard Allen Murray, a lifelong local, who had served as the town's fire chief and sat on the city council, was driving through a dried-up riverbed in the backwoods of Louisiana, Missouri. When he went through some brush in the creek bed, his lights illuminated a tall, dark object. The creature quickly ran and disappeared, and he later stated that he was amazed to see something. He thought the story of this creature was complete nonsense, but then he saw something. So now we got the fire chief who said he saw something too. So
just a figure in the dark with his headlights shining.
He said it was like a tall figure, matching the description of Momo. Tall creature, pumpkin head, covered in hair, the orangey eyes.
Yep.
And it darted out of view very quick. Now, there's a reason I wanted to bring this story to you, James.
What's that reason?
Because it's like a classic cryptid case. And what I mean by that is it's the 70s, it's the summer, it's a spurt of sightings in a small town, and everyone knows about it, and everyone's on edge. So, Chief Shelby Ward, the police officer, the only plausible and honestly the most logical thing you could do in this situation. Round up a posse, we're going for a monster hunt.
Hell yeah, brother.
That is why I wanted to bring this to you today.
We're gonna get him.
This is basically the best part I love about looking at cryptids is the amount of times sometimes officials will be like, we can't let this monster hunt happen. People will get shot because there's beers and angry guys with guns. And then some are like, hell no, get your gun.
Hell no, we're gonna get him.
We gonna get that creature.
We're gonna get that Momo.
Exactly. So Chief Shelby Ward organized a monster hunt involving local residents and conservative officer Gus Artis. He also got a pack of 20 Boy Scouts to help, because he was one of the Boy Scout leaders.
This is what I love about America.
Yeah, so they had Boy Scouts and a group of guys going up with guns going through the woods trying to find something.
Did the Boy Scouts have guns?
The Boy Scouts did not have guns, but they had flashlights.
Oh.
The mayor of the town said that they were the bravest boys he knew as he sent them into the woods to look for the strange beast.
A sacrifice the mayor was willing to make.
The search that night yielded no results.
Oh.
But residents still continue to hear animal sounds elsewhere in the town. I did look up the hills that they were looking at. I forget what the mayor said the hill they sent the group up, but it was actually the wrong hill. I think he called he called it Star Hill. They said they were going up Star Hill, but all the sightings at this point took place at Marzolf Hill.
Easy mistake to make.
I guess so. I don't know. Maybe the same hill and that's just a slang word for it. I don't know.
I mean, at the moment, I can't tell them apart.
I mean, I'm not there. I don't know. But that could be part of it, but I don't know. They found nothing going up there. On July 20th, 1972, the next day, investigators found trampled bush, 10-inch tracks, and handprints in dry soil near Marzolf Hill. Again, wrong hill. So that's back at the regular hill while everyone's been seeing something. The strong odor suggested the creature was nearby, but no sightings occurred. Now, this is like 1 week.
Right.
And all these sightings are happening. We got consistency of a smell. We got consistency of the tracks, of the description of the creature.
Yep. Do we have any photos of the paw prints, if anything? Or the footprints, rather?
Now, it's really hard to find, but I did manage to find some.
Oh.
I scoured the internet for a long time, but I did find some. Even most places like Wikipedia and stuff say there are no known tracks. That's a lie. I found the tracks.
You found the track.
I did. It took a lot of researching, but I found them. There's only one known photo. I will show you that photo.
I would love to see it. And I will compare it to a bear paw print.
Okay. First off, this is not the first time Momo has been spotted before, but this is the first time it got popular. It started a media craze. People were coming to the town. They didn't want the media there.
The Loch Ness Monster effect.
People love monsters. People love monsters. It's a big thing.
Hey, so, if I heard there was a monster spotted nearby, I would be charging headfirst into that forest.
Oh, it.
What could go wrong?
Oh, get the boys, get your truck, get your guns, get your beer.
Get some kids with the flashlights.
Exactly. Go out into the woods and find a monster.
Yeah.
That's just good old-fashioned American fun, if you ask me. That's why I love this story. A year earlier, also in July, 1971, Joan Mills and Mary Ryan claimed to see the creature when having a picnic by the Mississippi River. Now, it wasn't like a flash in the pan, like, oh, they saw it and it ran away, like some of these other ones have been. They were having a picnic when they smelled a foul odor, turning seeing a creature at the tree line walking towards them. They booked it back to their car, hopped inside, and watched as the creature ate their entire picnic and left. And they described this creature similar to Momo, the upright, black fur, big pumpkin-sized head.
Mm-hmm.
But this is before Momo was really named. This is like, it was just like another Bigfoot story.
Yeah.
So we've got another one in the same time period, a year before, another sighting of Momo.
Do they have Bigfoot in Missouri?
Bigfoot sightings are all over North America, but every single case is so dense that they got different names for it.
Yeah.
So like in Florida, there's the skunk ape. In Arkansas, there's the Fouke monster. Where we live, they call it the mountain devils.
Right.
In Ontario, there's old golden top, which is apparently a Sasquatch with a little bit of golden flare on the top of his hair. There's all sorts of different creatures, even in other parts of the world, like the Yeti in Nepal. So this is it's considered like a Bigfoot-esque creature.
Yeah.
But it's so popular, there's so many. This is just another variety of them.
Subspecies, perhaps.
Yeah, I guess so. You could say that. Subspecies. But yeah, no, every area has its own type of bipedal ape creature.
Of course. They're very common.
Surprisingly, yes, actually. That's not an incorrect statement. So, I've given you a bunch of sightings.
Yep.
I've given you a bunch of different reports, all of them in the same area. What are you thinking this is that's causing such a stir? And it's now become a national media craze.
I'm still leaning towards bear. Bears
Upright?
can walk upright.
Not naturally.
Yes, naturally.
No, but like upright this many times?
I don't think they have a limit.
Okay.
They can do it, and I'm sure they can do it as much as they want.
Okay.
Bears and picnics go together like peanut butter and toast.
Very true.
Yeah, I don't know. And there's black bears in the area. I'm just leaning towards bear. I haven't seen.
Okay.
I haven't
You know
seen
what?
those footprints yet.
Up to this point, I understand why you say bear. The encounters continue. July 21st, 1972. With Ellis
Another day later.
Another day later, Ellis Minor encountered the creature on the Great River Road near Mississippi River. Apparently, his dog was going nuts outside, so he got his flashlight and went out to look. And he saw a creature in the tree line eyeing his dog, standing upright, pumpkin-sized head, glowing orange eyes. Now, this could be just one guy, but his nephew was over that night and sleeping in the guest room. And he said that he looked out his window and saw the creature too. And he stands by that story to this day.
That is a lot of people saying they've seen it.
There's a lot of people saying they've seen it, and I think it's like, I know there's lots like, other country guys see no witnesses, but I think it's nice to have the nephew there that corroborates his story as well. That's something that helps. Ellis Minor described the creature. He had a flashlight on it, so he got a good look at it. Having black hair covering its whole body, no visible face, like the other ones were saying, big, about 7 feet tall. Same story over and over again of the descriptions. As the creature was eliminated, it fled and back into the darkness. So now this has become a huge thing. National publicity has brought visitors to Louisiana, turning Edgar Harrison's home into a monster outpost, quote unquote. This is where the creature was initially started, and now it's just frenzied by media. Doris stated that she did not like having the media around, and it just did change her life from then on. She's actually, when talking about it, looks fairly almost like talking about a bad memory. Like, she looks sad when she's talking about it. She doesn't really like to talk about it.
Yeah.
But she does, if need to be. If you ask her about it. She has been interviewed. Edgar, now obsessed, camped at Marzoff Hill for 21 nights, but only experienced the creature's smell and sounds. And these sounds are almost nightly. People are hearing these strange sounds in the woods they haven't heard before. Almost 2-3 weeks now, Momo has not been sighted. Momo's been heard, Momo's been smelled, but not sighted until August 3rd. Now, this isn't a sighting, but this is when tracks deep enough to cast were found. Now, up until this point, no tracks were casted because of how hot it was. It was the summertime. So all the dirt was really crusty and they couldn't get a solid imprint in the ground.
Sure.
It's true. Like there wasn't any.
I believe you.
It's part of it. At this point, though, this was found in the garden of Bill and Mrs. Suddarth's farm. The tracks appeared in isolation with almost no sign of entry or exit onto the farm. Now, the tracks were found, they were casted, and they were submitted to Lawrence Curtis, who was the director of the Oklahoma City Zoo. Here is a picture of those tracks.
Oh, finally, some hard evidence.
Now, I want you to notice something weird about this.
Okay.
3 toes.
Definitely not a bear paw print.
It's 10 inches long. There is 3 toes at the top. No known mammal has 3 toes.
Is this the only footprint, or is there a matching footprint for the other leg?
These are like matching tracks going through, but they
both
always
both left and right only have 3 toes.
Yes, that's what's kind of distinguished Momo and a lot of southern Bigfoot is 3 toes. Not common. Not actually. No, sorry, not even not common. Doesn't exist in the wild. There is no primate with 3 toes. 10 inches long, 3 toes. That was submitted, as said, to Lawrence Curtis, the director of the Oklahoma Zoo. And he determined the tracks were either of an unknown primate species or a hoax.
And that leads me into what I was going to say earlier.
Okay.
Jake.
Yeah.
Could this be a man in an ape suit?
No. And the reason I say no is because ape suits are dumb. Ape suits are a very rare hoaxing mechanism.
Are they too dumb to fool a few people in the Missouri? No offense to the people of Missouri.
There might be a little bit of offense there. This thing was too large. It was too unnatural. It was holding a dead dog in its arms, for fuck's sake. Pets were going missing. Like things were actually happening. And I don't think there was anything to say that there was a hoax. More likely, if there was any hoaxing, it would be somebody making footprints themselves, which does happen.
Yeah, they're pretty easy to get a hold of. I mean, I don't know about back then. Nowadays, pretty easy to get a hold of some whatever footprint you want, really. Put your feet on it, stomp around in some mud.
Well, this is after the Patterson-Gimlin footage of 1967. This is also after the initial Bigfoot footprints found in California in 1955. And those ones in California in 1955 are most likely big footprint makers. They're a complete hoax. And you can usually tell this by the way the tracks are imprinted in the ground. If the tracks go like one big stomp, it doesn't move naturally. You don't see where it goes like this. You don't see the motion of the foot.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So if a creature goes through, it doesn't just go bam, bam, bam. You can see where the pressure releases. The cast of the creature's footprint really tells a story about how this creature moves. And Momo actually has a story about how the creature moves. And in this track, it is actually quite unnatural. And I got a video to show you.
A video?
So, this is from a TV show called Monsters and Mysteries in America. Love this show. One of my favorites growing up. And actually where I first heard about Momo.
My father received a phone call from one of his friends saying that I found prints in my garden and I believe they're prints of Momo. And so my dad and his brother, they took a plaster cast of one of the prints. The only piece of physical evidence that I know exists from that time is this footprint. The toes are odd. It has a very deep heel, so whatever it was heavy.
Now, James.
Yes.
If hefty reenactments with really cool music and awesome camera cuts from 2009 doesn't convince you, I don't know what will.
Well, they did say it was the only footprints ever cast or only physical evidence shown or something along those lines.
It was.
And they also said it was either extraordinary or fabricated.
Literally both ends of the spectrum. Yeah. It's basically like saying
it could be anything.
It could be anything or absolutely nothing. Yeah. It's literally an answer with no answer.
It must be really easy to be an expert.
I think the guy added that like it could be this or a hoax because he didn't want to be seen as crazy.
It's like when my boss asks if the project will be done on time. It might be. Might also not be. I don't know.
Look, you are an expert. You answered just like one.
Yeah.
Yeah. After that last track was found, there have been no more reports of Momo. Ever. Never.
And sorry, when was that last track found again?
August 3rd, 1972.
1972.
It's weird.
Showed up and disappeared within a month.
That's how it was. It was like a 2-month monster scare. Not even. It was about a month-long monster scare. And it was just like a summer of the monster. I mean, we did see it the year before. Those girls did report seeing a creature that invaded their picnic. But other than that, it's a mysterious creature that just showed up, riled up the residents, and then left as soon as like more people started showing up to the town. Which is something I kind of want to bring up. Like Momo was there.
Mm-hmm.
It started to kind of get comfortable around the area. And then all the news teams started showing up and the people with guns started going looking for it. And the Boy Scouts, you can't forget the Boy Scouts. Yep, that's the scariest part of all of this. Went to go looking for this creature. It was like for weeks.
They had to get that Momo badge. Patch.
Is it just called the Momo patch?
Presumably.
Okay.
I did just make that up, but I think it was on the line.
There should be a monster hunting patch for Boy Scouts. I think
if a Boy Scout found Momo, he'd get a patch. If nothing else, he'd get a patch.
No, fuck it. Get him a championship belt. Get him like a WWE title.
Put him in a cage match with Momo.
Either you get the patch or you get torn to bits.
It's the natural way of life.
I guess so. I guess you're not incorrect. All these news stations come in, start filming around, poking around, people with guns, Boy Scouts, all that crap. Any animal that was living in the area started getting encroached on would leave. It would get out of there. Why would you stay there if you're getting your territory encroached on? And this was initially a small town that then got invaded by several people who wanted to find the monster. So it makes sense that it would leave if it was a creature. And it's not like it's the only kind of creature in the area. It's just, this is the creature. This is the Momo Scare 1972. This is like one that just stands out for the town of Louisiana, Missouri.
Well, for a creature to recognize that and leave, it would have to be intelligent.
And I believe that they are. I believe that.
Sorry, let me expand on that a little bit.
Go ahead.
I think there is an intelligent ape in North America.
Humans?
Called man. Called man.
Mm-hmm.
You do a little hoax, some people start showing up with guns. Maybe you put the monkey suit away.
Killing dogs?
Maybe you stop killing dogs for a little while.
So it's a psychopath killing dogs.
I mean, well, we don't know that the dogs are dead. We just know they went missing. Pets go missing.
We know one dog was dead.
If you let your dog out for any period of time, what are the chances that she would go missing?
Not very good at all.
Oh.
Because I got a big fence and I watch them.
No, that's not what I mean. I don't mean let it go in your backyard. I mean let it go outside of your property. Would your dog go missing?
No, probably not. They got good recall.
Fuck you. All right, pets do go missing.
Yes, they do. But like, it wasn't just pets missing. It was like pets being taken off of their collars, like they were tied to trees. And it was an abnormal amount of pets that it got attention in a matter of a few days.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a creature spotted with a dead dog under its arm. So I think there's a lot to this story. It's one of my favorites. I think it's fun. And I just think it really encapsulates the American monster hunt. When something's in your town, there's something about that's almost romanticized nowadays. But I do think something's interesting happening. And I think, honestly, seeing videos of people getting interviewed about the creature, it helps a lot because you see the emotion on their face and what they're thinking when they're talking about this monster that terrorized their town. And I think that makes more sense. I think also if it was a man in a suit, it would be easier to find because guys were searching for this creature all night on several occasions, and they kept hearing the sounds that were bothering people, and they kept smelling the smell. But I guess this creature was either so fast or so stealthy that it could hide or run. You know, a man in a clunky suit that obviously doesn't fit because it's a pumpkin-sized head that takes up most of his shoulders. I don't think that makes much sense for it to be a man in a suit. And usually if a guy is in a suit, he would just make it a monkey suit. Every other time there's been guys caught with monkey suits, they are just monkey suits you can buy from Walmart or Amazon or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think if it was a guy in a suit, someone would come forward by now, and also he would have been caught. However, there is another theory.
Another theory.
What this creature could be.
Is it a bear?
No. What is it? There were reports of lights in the sky.
Lights in the sky.
At the time of the Momo sightings. Could Momo be an extraterrestrial pet that got loose and terrorized a community of people in the summer of 1972?
Well, you know, I'm glad you brought that up, because we do know that Bigfoot is an interdimensional being. So if Momo is related to Bigfoot, which it sounds like it might be, it is very possible that it came off of an alien ship and killed some dogs.
I think it's just a pet that got loose. And then the aliens tried to corral the sumbitch.
Could very well be the CIA didn't have portals yet to intercept it.
That's basically all I've got on Momo. It could be...
Well, before you ask me my final thoughts,
yeah.
What are your thoughts on this? What are your final thoughts?
I think it's a creature.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a hoax. The way they're reacting, they didn't react like hoax reactors do.
Mm-hmm.
You'll come to find as we delve deeper into these topics, you'll find people who have hoaxes, like they act a certain way. They're almost proud when they talk about it, like they want to talk about the beast they saw.
Sure.
People who are genuinely terrified and don't want to talk and don't want money and don't want anything, that just want to be left alone, I take their stories a little more like honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, the way like the kids acted and the way like, you know, people still act about the creature, I find that genuine. Louisiana, Missouri is not a tourist destination. They didn't want tourism. They're just a small town. You know, kind of like how where we're from. We're a relatively small town, and there's so many people that are just like, you know, keep it boring, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't see much motivation that way. But I think the possibility of it being confused with a bear is there. Possibly a bear being with just, I don't know, overgrown hair or something of the sort. I don't know.
Well, one thing we do know about bears is they can get sick, and when they look sick, they look pretty alien-like, I suppose.
Mangy, when they get mange, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when there's
bears
like,
do walk on, or can walk on two legs.
Yeah.
And they can probably kill dogs too.
They can. The thing is that with the mange thing is it makes the bears a little skinnier. Momo's reported to be like really bulky, sort of thing. So that's why I'm thinking more just a regular bear.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a bear that gets into trash. That's why it smells bad.
With ape-like feet with 3 toes.
Well, who knows?
If those are real footprints.
Who knows? If those are real footprints, it points to me like this is like something that people saw.
If those are real footprints, we would have to look at the big old species tree, whatever, of species that we know and see what the hell has 3 toes to begin with.
I'll tell you what has 3 toes. Other Bigfoot species in that area.
Other Bigfoot species in that area.
Yes.
Awesome.
There's other different kinds of Bigfoot have the 3-toed tracks in the southern parts of America.
Well, I feel dumb for not knowing that. My apologies.
You wouldn't know. It's okay. No, it's all right. No, it's like
it's not just common knowledge. The Bigfoot in southern America, not South America, southern America, have 3 toes.
The southern states, yeah. There's more than one type of legendary creature.
I wonder what the evolutionary advantage to that was.
Some say webbed feet.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty swampy, I guess.
That's why, because they can go through the swamps without getting rotted up and stuff.
Swim right past the alligators.
Yeah. No, that's one of the reasoning for it. It would kind of make sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
If we're talking about this being real, yes. Anyway, that's what I think. I think it was a creature. I give it like a 4 out of 5. I think something's there. I think the people of the town are... James is fucking laughing at me. I think the people of the town were scared enough by this creature, it caused a media frenzy. I think it was interesting that it only lasted a little bit. I think it was just another kind of Bigfoot from the southern states, if it was anything. But I don't think it was a hoax.
Do they have skunks in Missouri?
They probably have skunks in Missouri. I don't know why this correlates.
Because I have a theory.
That it's a skunk?
A cryptid theory. Well,
okay.
Sorry, no, it's more of a skunk theory, I guess.
Their lines cross.
Okay, hear me out.
Okay.
You have this weird-ass bear.
Yep.
It is walking around on two legs because it's kind of strange.
Yep.
There's skunks in Missouri. Scares a skunk. Sprays its ass out. Now it stinks. Now there's a weird-looking bear that's standing that stinks.
Could be.
Maybe your dog gets scared and runs away. Your dog is missing.
Your
child in the backyard sees a stinky bear on two legs and is like, what the hell is that? Runs inside, says, I've seen a thing. Maybe it's the first time your kid has seen a bear.
Doris.
Maybe that bear has ape-like feet with 3 toes.
Okay, you know what? Actually, I like what you're saying.
Right?
I'm gonna be honest. I like what you're saying, because if that was a bear that got sprayed by a skunk, you know what? Maybe it got sprayed in the face.
You can smell a skunk for miles.
You can
kilometers even.
Well, it's fucking terrible. But yeah, but like what I mean literally is, like, you know, if it got sprayed in the face, maybe it had more red eyes.
You know, that could.
I think there's something that you're saying there that makes sense. Honestly, the head still doesn't match the description of a bear. The pumpkin head.
Well, what does a pumpkin head mean?
Well,
like a pit bull? Like it's just a fat, meaty noggin?
This is my fault. I did not show you a single image of what the creature looked like.
No, I saw a video of a recreation of someone pouring casting into a footprint. That is my evidence that I have.
This is apparently what was drawn by Doris Harrison that day.
Incredible.
It's a crude drawing, but it literally looks like just a big pumpkin head on top of shoulders.
It is a round, hairy head on a humanoid, hairy body.
Other artist interpretations, this is a very famous one. Just a very large head.
That is a very large, hairy head on a hairy body with orange, glowing eyes.
Yes. There's also, this is what the newspaper printed.
Now that's art.
There's no actual photos of Momo. So
I can't believe it.
Here's a recreation of how the dog was being held.
How big is this thing supposed to be? You said 7 feet tall?
Over 7 feet tall.
Over 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, some say like just over 7 feet. Some say 6 to 7 feet.
Pretty small dog.
They said, I think they said it was gonna be like, it was like a Jack Russell type of dog. It wasn't like a big cane corso or something.
Good for killing rats.
Yeah. Another artist rendition of what Momo. This is on the Cryptid Wiki site.
All right.
Yeah. So a little different than a bear when it comes to the testimony of what it looked like with the large head on top of the shoulders.
Yep.
When bears stand up, they do kind of look like that, but the ears are more prominent.
Second theory.
Mhm.
Man in an ape suit that is different from the California one, because that's more or less proven to be a hoax. And and that man got sprayed by a skunk and got stuck in the suit for 3 days. And that's why all the sightings were within 3 days.
Now you're getting ridiculous. In the California Bigfoot suit, the Catterson Gimlin footage, by the way, of October 20th, 1967, was not a man in a suit. No matter what you say, I have... Okay. This isn't going to make the podcast. But you saying that that's a man in the suit without analyzing the video as long as I have, and saying it's a man in the suit, is just as ignorant as me looking at the video once with no analyzing it and saying it's a Bigfoot. You got to analyze it. And the way people have analyzed it, they have said this is not a suit. They don't know what it is, but it's not a suit. Professional Hollywood.
I'm glad I could trigger you enough to give me a lecture outside of the podcast.
I have to, because it's not a fucking guy in a suit.
I'm not convinced.
And I will convince you one day. Anyway.
Maybe if we play some shittier footage.
Final conclusion for me, I think something happened there, but I can't be conclusive if it's a Bigfoot, it could be a bear, but something did scare the residents of Louisiana, Missouri. So I'm giving it 3.5 out of 5. Maybe
3.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
For you.
3.5 out of 5, I'll say. That's final. What do you think, James?
I think that was a crazy 2 months, followed by nothing for the rest of eternity.
Now, before you say anything about nothing for the rest of eternity, this is just this town. We don't know what it could be in other places.
Have there been stinky monkeys in other places?
It's very common for the southern states to have more smelly or Bigfoot species, yes.
Very common.
Yes, actually. It's more common than up here because I have all the swamp and the humidity. You can laugh. It's fine. But it's if you look at it,
the swamp apes are stinky.
Yeah. If it was a real creature, it's something that would be a part of it. It would make sense that there would be some sort of smell that goes along with it.
Just like every other swamp creature.
It's true. So anything that's like hairy like that, it would stick to it. So what's your judgment, James?
No more dancing around it. There's no more questions left to ask because there's definitely no more answers. I give this smelly ape in Missouri a 2. I don't believe it. I don't buy it.
Okay, you're skeptical, but you're not. Nothing's there.
I mean, something must have happened to get the whole town up in an uproar.
Yeah.
But do I think that something was Bigfoot or Momo or an ape with 3 toes? Not really. There's a great story.
It is a great story.
But other than that, there's nothing there.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a part of it that's really unfortunately lackluster is, there was no DNA back then.
Yep.
So what are they going to do with the hairs and the stuff that they reportedly found?
Well, what they do is they hold on to it.
Apparently not here.
There's been lots of crime cases solved after the fact because they just held on to DNA evidence.
It's true, but it's usually on different things. I think another aspect is, when Edgar Harrison came home, maybe he thought the kids saw a bear, and maybe he didn't fully believe it either. So he didn't take any of the hair samples that they found.
Yeah.
It could be something like that too.
Could be. Edgar Harris could be a liar as well. We don't know.
It started with his kids.
Is he still alive?
No, he's dead now. But his kids are still alive, and they still stand by the story.
Yeah, fair enough.
So they say that they will never go back on it. They believe what they saw.
Fair enough. Hey, if you see something and you believe it as a kid, you hold on to that for life.
It's true.
I have a story that I might share with you someday.
Ooh.
Maybe.
I'm interested. Is it leprechauns?
No.
Oh, shit. Okay, then I don't know what it could be then. Yeah, anyway, no, thank you for listening, everybody. I can't get James over the fence this week. I'm hoping to get him next time. Please follow, like, review, tell James that he's wrong.
And if you have more evidence, I would love to read about it.
Actually, that's true. If you are from Missouri...
If you know more than Jake and I do, please share.
Yeah. I would love that. If anyone actually is from the town and has some stuff that didn't get to the national audience, we're in Canada.
We're in Canada.
We don't know. So
Momo, that's just 4 letters that we've heard about.
Yeah, so if there's anyone from Missouri that knows anything more, we'd love to hear it.
And please disregard the offensive accents we had done. We didn't mean it.
James, any wise words for us?
If you're going to go out into the woods looking for monsters, make sure you bring your child with a flashlight. Someone's got to hold it and hold it straight.
No truer words have ever been spoken. Thank you for listening, everybody. We'll see you on the next one.
Goodbye.